So, good afternoon, my Jilly Juice crowd, as well as those that are contemplating on considering doing Jilly Juice. So, it hit me as I am on the heels of exiting a different microbiome over this weekend. Um, it was interesting, your body, your cells have memories, and hanging out with a pretty, I would say, biochemically aggressive, totally cool crowd. It reminded me of those days when I was drinking and smoking and going to the bars and just, enjoying the freedom to express through biochemistry and using certain things to, I guess, exacerbate biochemistry. And it's fun, but of course, there's always that, after type effects where you're hungover or you have uh, to recover from that fun. I mean, when you play, you got to pay for it, right? I mean, that's pretty standard in anything out there. So the reason why addictions are so hard to kick, some people are able to kick like a cigarette addiction, but they have other addictions that replace it. So, I mean, this isn't across the board, but when you look at addictions, somebody could say, well, I'm going to quit drinking coffee, and they turn to Diet Coke. Or they're like, I'm going to quit taking painkillers, but I'm going to turn to Kratom. Okay. Switching from one addiction to another is kind of like our society. And we think that we're doing better because we kick smoking, but there's another addiction that they're doing, like eating. Okay. And so the whole thing with the Jilly Juice is that it gets rid of these microbiomes that have this addiction hold over a person to where, yeah, they might feel, the pressure of stopping smoking. So instead of smoking, they're going to go and turn to eating, which can be another addiction and create a different microbiome that will cause them to loop in that addiction. And then this is why people cannot seem to get over all of their health issues, because they just go from one addiction to another, to another, to another. And some of it is denying food is an addiction. I mean, I've seen that where people have a very strong mind over matter. Okay, I'm going to quit smoking, but I'm also going to turn to prescription drugs as a way to cope and deal. And then also deny themselves food because they may have body image issues, anorexic issues, and all of that. So the thing what triggered me to talk about this, because I did a bunch of waterfalls yesterday, right? And then today, I mean, I was tired today. And so being tired is because I got rid of a lot of the microbiome over the weekend, like a lot of it. Like I was throwing up some microbiome stuff yesterday from over the weekend and pooping it out. And so it leaves you really just tired. And then you have to go and replenish your microbiome with a new microbiome. And so I look at the food around me and I see, oh yeah, okay, I have some whipped cream and I have my little muffins with fruit in it. I have still some pasta salad from over the weekend, which I made here. And I had, let's see, I think that was it, what I had today. Oh yeah, and I had some chicken wings with some sweet and sour. And so after eating the chicken wings, and then I took a nap, and I had some of the whipped cream and the muffin, took a nap, and I felt just really, really tired. So then I had some pasta salad. I woke up and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just tired. Because yeah, my body's still recovering from going through from one microbiome to another. So I ate some pasta salad, and oh my God, I just like perked up instantly. And I didn't take any coffee. I mean, I had coffee this morning, but not really, enough for it to make any kind of difference. I mean, if I really wanted to get a caffeine high, I would go to Starbucks, but I don't really want that. And so the coffee that I have here, it really isn't like a Starbucks, okay? But yeah, after I ate a little bit of that pasta salad and I'm here watching a little bit of Netflix, I called my husband too because he's on the road. I felt like really like better, like, oh my God, So when you fill up your gut with any kind of food, doesn't matter what it is, especially if you're doing the Jilly Juice, that will give you a new microbiome that your body will adapt to. And then every time you poop or every time you do waterfalls, it then, you adapt to your current surroundings with that food and your environment, and then you poop out the excess. And so your body is continuously adapting to your current state of environment. But when you go to a different microbiome, such as a party where it's like a party weekend and you're eating foods that you don't normally eat, yeah, that's a different microbiome. And that's when I knew when I came home, I really had to poop a lot. So when I came home on Sunday, I mean, I was pooping a lot. And then I did the waterfalls on Monday. And then my body is finally recalibrating and it's going to go back to what it's supposed to be, which is what I usually have. And so my dog is also recalibrating and just acclimating to her surroundings, her usual surroundings. Okay, so you have to understand. So when you guys are doing the waterfalls and you're on the J juice and you have health issues, like some of you told me you have major health issues and you're sensitive to everything, it's because your microbiome has so much of the old environment that you haven't even adapted to the old environment because you have so much anomalous stuff going on in your body. And then you have a lot of poop that is also messing with the body, mind, and spirit, messing with your systems. And so no matter what you do, anytime you touch something, eat something that your body already has an overabundance, you're going to have an inflammation. You're going to have some kind of anaphylactic reaction. So that's what allergies are, is when you already have an overabundance of whatever elements, whatever microbiome, whatever, fatty acid, amino acid, prohormones, and minerals, your body's saying, okay, there's so much of it. Anytime you're exposed to any of that, then your body is going to try to protect itself. Okay, so that's why doing Jilly Juice is so important. So that way you can get rid of the old microbiome and stop the inflammation, not because you are suppressing your immune system, it's because you are releasing the excess. That's what I did yesterday when I did the waterfalls, and it was a lot of excess. I mean, I threw up some stuff, I pooped out some stuff. I mean, I'm telling you, it's necessary. It's part of the whole Jilly Juice protocol. You're going to have to get used to getting rid of a lot of stuff. And for me, it's been like 4 years of getting rid of old microbiomes from genetic history. Okay, from all the different environments that I've been exposed to, whether it was from doing experimental drugs way back when I was in my teen years, to pot smoking in my 30s and 40s, to drinking a lot of alcohol in my 20s, 30s, and 40s, just visiting different environments. You're picking up stuff all the time. But when you pick up stuff, are you releasing the excess? And the stuff that you pick up, how is it affecting you? Well, you don't know. There's no way to say correlation equals causation, because there's so many factors that contribute to all of your cancer, disease, and chronic illness. You can't pinpoint what exactly was the straw that broke the camel's back. Okay, so that's why it's important to do the Jilly Juice, so it releases everything. You're not going to blame the chemtrails or the 5G or Monsanto or vaccines. It's a conglomeration of your whole lifestyle and a conglomeration of their past, your present, and even your future that you have to go and deal with and recalibrate. And then you'll be able to adapt to the current environment. And COVID won't even be nothing but just like, okay, a blip. And there's going to be mutations of it, but at least as you are adapting to your current conditions and releasing the excess, any mutation to the COVID will be just like maybe a little headache. Maybe you'll wake up with a bit more phlegm in your system, and you're blowing your nose, and maybe you might have certain reactions that, like when you started doing the Jilly Juice and you haven't reversed everything, you might see rashes come to surface. You might feel like a throbbing headache for like 6 days. I've been through that, and I realize it's just part of the adaptation process. Okay, when I was doing the Jilly Juice yesterday, a quart, okay, mind you, a quart is a whole lot, especially with the intensity that I have in my fridge right now. Feeling that dizziness, like you guys will feel it to begin when you first do the Jilly Juice and you do a whole lot in a short amount of time, you're going to feel dizzy. And then when you do the waterfalls, all of that dizziness like disappears, and you might throw up. That might happen. And when I threw up, I was like, ooh, what is this? It looked like this white, stuff. And, oh yeah, those are egg whites. So I made fried eggs yesterday morning. In the morning I had bacon and fried eggs. I'm like, oh crap, my eggs came back up, but I felt a lot better. Okay. So whatever your body has to do, let it do it when you're on the Jilly Juice. Everything is natural. Everything is supposed to happen the way it is. You are now triggering your immune system to work the way it's supposed to. And so no matter what, everything that happens while you're on the Jilly Juice, okay, and you're drinking water is absolutely normal. It's the way it's supposed to be. every symptom out there that there is an actual name for it, a diagnosable disease for it, is the body trying to evolve. And then what does the holistic allopathic world do? They try to suppress that healing process. That's why there is no evolution out there. That's why the evolution stops at a certain maturity level. So kids evolve, but they don't evolve very completely. So growing up is evolution, but as soon as you hit that maturity point, then you are devolving. So all of you that are dealing with your cancer disease and chronic illness and aging and degrading, you are devolving. So evolution in this world is a very short stint. You know, I see somebody post on their Facebook one like, oh yeah, from the womb to the tomb. That is not the Jilly Juice way. There is no from the womb to the tomb. There is no bucket list. Okay? There is a point where you evolve and you stay evolving indefinitely. There is no devolving on the Jilly Juice. The only way you devolve on the Jilly Juice is if you stop doing Jilly Juice. Okay? And then if you want to get pregnant, then yeah, you know, you do the Jilly Juice. You deal with all of the mutations out there. Your uterus will let you know that it's evolving, because I'll tell you what, I could see that there's not going to be a stopping of the period until 7 billion people stop mutating viruses. Until 7 billion people stop mutating viruses. So this is for Masa, okay, if she wants to get pregnant, which I know that that's her goal. I think it's still her goal. I don't know. It probably still is. You'll be fertile. When you keep doing the J juice, you'll be fertile, because every single time there's a mutation, as far as this COVID-19, your uterus will let you know that it is evolving to the level of your environment, because that's what a period is. And that's why some periods are harder in some months than other months, because of the mutations in the environment. And since we have 7 billion people, that's what's going to trigger periods to happen until the 7 billion people stop mutating. And people stop mutating the viruses, and they're so healthy, and they're not aggressive, and they're not communicable. I mean, I don't think there'll be any issue for anyone on the Jilly Juice to get pregnant. Now, yeah, if you have anomalies in your reproductive system and there's other issues, yeah, you have to get over those first. And already we have a testimony that someone said that they are getting their period back. Okay. And then not so much anymore, but my left ovary that was damaged healed with the J juice. Look, you fantastic. Thanks, Masa. So, so that's the thing, is that you'll see on the spectrum of life that if you hit menopause, then you will get your period back at some point. And then when you get your period, back, then it's going to have to evolve. Your uterus is going to have to evolve with the current environment. And then, if you ever move to a place where there's only like everyone's on Jilly Juice and you're on a secluded island away from, away from a mainland of a bunch of people, and there isn't weather bringing over spores of viruses, you could potentially calm down like reproduction, or maybe even the period might not be as heavy or as aggressive. And I've had that where my period was like hardly anything on the Jilly Juice. And then when there's a COVID and I could feel it, then my period was pretty intense, because the uterus was evolving. It was adapting to that environment. And now it makes sense, because yes, you have a microbiome, you have a whole ecosystem in your uterus as well as your gut. So women have like two different worlds in their body. That's what's so amazing about women. That's why we're so strong, and we are Mother Earth. We are we are this world. Okay. So there's probably a reason why us women are doing the J juice more than the men, because we understand our role in keeping humanity going. Okay. So, this is I don't know, this is a responsibility that we don't take lightly. And anyways, so, but I just want you to understand about addictions and microbiomes, and that you eventually, if you are addicted to cigarettes, you won't be addicted anymore on the J juice. I mean, I quit since 2017, and then I had fun, over this weekend, and then I, purged everything out. But even when I got home before doing J juice, I had no interest to smoke a cigarette, because I wasn't in that environment. Now, if I hung out with these people all the time, and I lived with these people all the time, well, then yeah, there would be definitely, it'd be interesting. Would I be doing cigarette smoking limit? I doubt it. I think it was fun. It was something I knew my body was only going to go through for like, 1 or 2 nights. But would I live with a bunch of people inducing that type of chemistry on a daily basis? That's too much biochemistry for me. That's too much upheaval. That wouldn't be my lifestyle. Because I mean, my husband smokes, so you think that, oh, okay, would that trigger you to smoke? No, because he has energy, but he doesn't have as strong of an energy of 14 people drinking and smoking and drunk. Okay, so there's definitely a difference in the energy of your environment that would induce someone to stay addicted. So just remember your environment, who you hang out with, your friends, all of that are huge influences in your body, mind, and spirit. And not to say that you couldn't still have your friends and what you do with them on an occasional basis, but like everything, it's in moderation. But the only way for you to really measure moderation is when your body is finally calibrated correctly. And then Moss goes, is alcoholics under this microbiology disorder? It's alcohol. It's just microbiome. It's just the anomalous, like you have in your microbiome all the different I would say characteristics of alcohol and other things. Okay, I mean, whenever you drink a bunch of alcohol and you smoke a bunch of cigarettes, you're leaving a footprint in your microbiome. And unless you replenish your gut and you sweep out that footprint and you recalibrate that footprint will still stay there. And then it will alter your microbiome, it will alter your body, mind, and spirit. That's what addiction is when a footprint doesn't leave. That's probably the best way I could say it without going into technical detail of what addiction is. But addiction is basically a footprint that a person cannot get rid of. And even though they can try to hypnotize themselves, they can take drugs to try to alter their biochemistry to stop them from smoking or doing things that are addictive, they would then find another addiction to replace it with. Okay. So that's why the J juice is so important, that it does sweep away the microbiome. Thank you, Marta. Okay. So we want to get rid of the old footprints. Old microbiomes are old footprints. That's why we have PTSD. That's why people have PTSD. They have abuse issues from the past. Why people keep getting triggered by somebody, because they haven't gotten over the past. And so until you're able to release those footprints and sweep them away with the Jilly Juice and then reconfigure your microbiome with a new outlook, people will still get triggered by addiction as well as anything else. And then sometimes, like, I got triggered today when someone was private messaging me asking me for dosages. Will I ever get over that? No, because I don't want to be your doctor. And I don't want them to think that I'm their doctor. And I want people to really understand that everything that happens on J-Juice is normal. How much you take is relative to how much you can handle as far as the healing process. There is no universal, how much should a 10-year-old or a 50-year-old take? I can't tell you that. If you get the book, you read it, and you understand that Jilly Juice is just food and you have to deal with the healing, then you will figure out what works for you. But there's nothing that anybody in my group can tell somebody how much or how little or what's appropriate. You're the mom, you're the dad, you're the guardian. You make that decision. It's your personal decision. Okay, so that's probably the only things I get triggered about is when somebody wants me to guide them through this. There's no guiding. You guide yourself in this. Okay, this is a very individual venture. So anyways, but do you know how parasites do? No, parasite, you need, okay, Masa, you have to get my book, Masa. You have to get my book. And I'm going to give you I will answer one question. Your microbiome is full of parasites, viruses, parasites, protozoa, proteins, fungus, and bacteria. You're supposed to have parasites in your body. Now, as far as how many, I can't tell you that. I can't tell you how many parasites you have in your body, but once you do the Jilly Juice and you release all the excess parasites and all that stuff, and you don't see anything more, then you have a good balance of parasites in your body where you're not pooping them out. And your body is really just balanced out. But there should be no fear of anything in the microbiome. And I do have in my book where I said, this is the microbiome. It's the viruses, it's the parasites, it's the protozoa, it's the proteins, it's the fungus, it's the bacteria. Fungus is yeast. Bacteria is lactobacillus. Parasites are different types. You know, the reason why people have tapeworm is because they have so much poop in their system, they're not metabolizing those nutrients. So guess what the worms do? They actually metabolize and fertilize your poop so that way you can absorb the nutrients. All parasites have a role. And when you have a lot more parasites, you know why? Because you have a disconnection, a misinfo in your microbiome. Your body isn't metabolizing correctly. And so guess what? The parasites are there to keep the balance. Parasites are not a bad thing, Masa. They're not a bad thing. When people take anti-parasites, guess what they do? They kill the host. Who's the host? You. When you're taking anti-parasites, antifungals, antimicrobials, anti-inflammatory antibiotics, you are destroying the host. And you're taking antivirals, you're destroying the host. So that's why all the antivirals, antibiotics, all the anti-everythings is host destroying, and you're the host. Chili juice really should be the only thing people should be taking because it keeps the balance. It energizes the immune system. You get the nutrition to build up your cells, and then the body finally is able to purge out what doesn't belong. And that's why you see the parasites come out, because the body doesn't need those parasites anymore to be the intermediaries. Parasites are intermediaries. You know, why we have so much cancer, disease, and chronic illness in the world is because people are demonizing fluoride, they're demonizing vaccines, they're demonizing all these different things, and everything, yes, has a place, but when you have so much of it, but then I understand, you know, if you were really sick like you were, and you said you had to do antibiotics, I understand that. If you feel you have to do antibiotics, if you have to get chemo, if you feel you have to get, you know, cannabis for whatever reason, if you feel you have to do that, fine, and do J juice at the same time. I don't want to tell anyone they shouldn't get anything antibiotic if they feel that their life is in danger. Okay, fine. I mean, it's kind of ironic. My life is in danger. I'm going to die, so I'm going to take an antibiotic, an anti-inflammatory. That's anti-life, okay? That's putting your life more in danger. But I understand that it's hard to deal with some of these symptoms. It's difficult. I get it. Okay, when I know that, Moss, and that's fine. I'm not going to fault you for it. People got to do what they got to do. I understand that. I mean, people are taking chemotherapy. You know, right now, you know, Kathy is doing chemotherapy and she's doing the J juice. Okay, but I mean, but I understand if you know, when I was dealing with that headache, I think for that 6 days I had that headache, I took some, I put peppermint oil and water on like the last day of it. And I put it on my forehead because I needed just to get some kind of relief, just feel like something to distract me from the pain because it's painful. That headache was so throbbing. I understand sometimes why people turn to antibiotics. They just want the pain to stop because it's intense. Okay? So I totally get it. And I don't fault you for it. I just don't want you to overdo it to where it undermines what it is you're trying to do, which is to bring life back to your body, not destroy it. Okay? So I get it. It's a transition. And, you know, I got to learn how to convey balance, not be so like legalistic, which I know I have been, and I've been a bit hard to deal with. I know that. But I also know what I'm trying to convey, and it doesn't always come out right. But it is about balance, and then what you can handle and your lifestyle and what your predispositions are. And then you know, Julie Juice is about life and it's about pain, and you will balance that out. Okay? So it's a balancing act, and we just keep improving our communication. We keep improving our understanding. We keep improving everything, and we will finally get whatever there is. And if that means that we have no fear and we just keep swimming and we keep producing. And my dog is so cute. Look at that face. Look at her. She's so cute. I just love my dog. She's so amazing. You know, we just keep doing the J juice, and we just, oh my gosh, and we keep respecting ourselves. It's not even about love. It's about respect. You can have respect as a foundation and love as like something okay, but really it's about respect. You keep respecting yourself, love will be natural. Okay? But love is not the foundation of Jilly Juice. It is the respect. We respect our bodies. We respect each other. I gotta learn that too. Sometimes I can be rather whatever. Not that I disrespect people, but I get really harsh and I forget that people are at different levels. But I will still, pound it in your head and I will call you out if I feel I need to. And it's not always the best, but people remember that. They don't forget it. And sometimes, I am who I am. I'm still human and I still have my emotions. So anyways, all right, I'm going to go do my thing, but I'll tell you what, I feel a lot better. I'm putting food back in my microbiome and I feel amazing. And I got rid of the microbiome over the weekend. And now we just go on to the next thing. And I told myself that I'm probably going to release my next book next year because I need to fully understand 2020. And then 2021 is when you're going to see what my evolution is in 2020. Okay? Because I'm not done evolving. This whole year is a major evolutionary progress, like total evolutionary transition. It's a trip because the protocol changed in February. Okay, so yeah. All right, love you guys. You guys are amazing, and I respect you. Respect is the first thing. Then yes, I do love you guys, and I think you guys are amazing. And yeah, thanks a lot. Bye.